broke up and everything, I was like, okay, so I want to still do music. So what can I do by myself that I don't need to rely on other people? So I decided to jump to like producing electronic music. And at first, like since I was into progressive house, I tried the progressive house thing, and then I went a little bit into like future house. But then I really started like hitting my stride and finding a groove in like like more bass house. And like I'd say maybe for the past year I've been branching out more into like tech house, but still with a heavy like bass influence into it. Like all my upcoming releases have really that tech house feel, but you can see that the basses are still like kind of heavy into them. It's like kind of an in between bass house and tech house. But yeah, like what's got me into electronic music was Escapade Music Festival. Like I just went there with some friends. Like I never went to like a music, like an electronic festival first, and that's where I fell in love with it. And I was kind of emotional because like this year I actually played that festival, so it was cool like playing the festival that
fucking
actually
sick.
made me
Nice,
fall in
man.
love with the music at first. So
That sounds so cool. I can only imagine like when you, because for me, like when you first hear like electronic dance music like coming from like traditional music, it's like such a mind fuck. You're like, holy fuck, like when I first heard it, I didn't even know like how it was even made. Because like when you hear like traditional music, you could like visualize, oh, someone's playing a piano or playing a guitar. And I was so young when I first heard it. I just like was like, what the fuck is this wizard? I don't even know if I thought about it. I was just like, oh shit. It was like watching Jurassic Park for the first time and seeing the dinosaurs and being like, oh my god.
oh shit, there's a couple of people I know in the chat. Yo, what's up everyone? Kirksta.
What's good,
Yeah,
chat?
what's good everyone in the chat? But yeah, no, I totally feel you. Like, oh shit, let me close that. I just got. All right, cool. No, no, fuck, almost fucked up. All right, I'm good. Yeah, but like I had the same thing. Like at first, I was doing like all that folk music, and then I just somehow got into electronic, and I was like, fuck, this is actually like it's weird, but what I really liked about it is like I could control everything by myself. So that was like the
Yeah.
big turning point that I was actually able to do everything myself. So looking moist. Hell yeah, I'm looking moist. I'm drinking that Perrier, bitch.
Fucking love Perrier. Fuck, I might actually get some after this
Bro,
live stream. That sounds good. I love bubble
wait,
water.
I got I got this fridge filled up. I got all these Perrier stacked up. Yeah, dude, I got like an addiction to that shit.
Good. I fucking love that. It's not good for your bones, but like,
Why does everybody
YOLO,
say
I guess.
that? Everybody says that.
Maybe because it's like, I mean, I think it's true. Like, if you think about like what you're drinking, like carbonated water, it probably like pushes your bones apart, your bone molecules apart, because you're like drinking like air essentially, and your body's not supposed to have like air in it unless it's like in your brain. So that's probably like why it gets into your bones and like pushes them apart and makes them less dense.
Yeah, 'cause
So that's why they say it's not good for your bones. I pulled that out of my ass, but like I feel like that's like why it's bad for
I'm
you.
actually
I'm
gonna
not a
read about
doctor.
that before going to bed because you're like the third person to tell me that this month. And I'm like, well, the amount of that shit that I drink every single day, like I'm gonna be made out of glass soon if that's true.
I mean, there's worse things to drink, like mixing like Red Bull and vodka, and
Yeah,
like
that's the worst.
those energy cocktails are probably like way worse than you because not only are they carbonated, um, they have like sugar and they have caffeine and they have alcohol.
Yeah, everything
But
to be
those
healthy
are,
as fuck.
yeah. I mean, I try to. It's hard to be healthy, but like I know like the energy output that's like required for being like a tour like a professional producer slash DJ. Like sometimes you have to like stay up like really late and like do a lot of things and like still have like the mental faculty to like talk to people. And so like being healthy like really helps. When I did my first like United States tour back when I was producing with K Theory, like to train for the tour, I like worked out every day and like got like hella like in shape. But then I totally got out of shape on tour because I was just going to Waffle House all the time. It was like, fuck, how do you stay in shape? Like, because I could only like afford like McDonald's dollar
Yeah.
menus and stuff like that. It's a struggle like being healthy when you're a DJ. So I like mad respects to like those people that are in shape, like Calvin Harris or whatnot. I mean, he probably has like fucking fancy shit on his rider, so who knows?
Yeah, but like from what I've seen, like all the guys that actually stay in shape, like they usually have almost a no drink policy going on when they do shows. They only drink like they only eat like like veggies and salads and stuff like that. They try to keep it super healthy, and that's something like
I
that I
mean,
struggle too with because like when I'm on tour, I go to Europe, I go see like all of these friends and everything. So it's like restaurants, beer, and like you meet up a bunch of people, and then like in a couple of weeks you gain like 10 pounds.
yeah, man, it definitely is a struggle. I feel that. Like, I've been trying to like cut out a lot of like naughty foods, but fuck, man, it's hard, especially like when you're like at like a gathering or a meet and greet, or you're meeting people and they're like, let's go to Denny's after the rave. Because that, I mean, that was something I did like when I was like in my early 20s going to raves. Like, that was like what you would do. Like, right after, like at like 4 a.m., we would just go to Denny's. But now, like as an older like dude, that shit like hits me much harder these days. Ah, man, it's so tasty though. But I feel you, man. It's hard to resist all that stuff, and especially there's some DJs will get like just like lots of alcohol in their
Yeah.
rider. Um, I'm not touring yet, but like once I start touring, I'm gonna like just put like probably the most crazy thing on my rider is gonna be Perrier. Probably not gonna put like any alcohol, maybe some red wine for my wife, but like nothing too crazy. Like I gotta try to cut out all the sweets and candies because I like to snack a lot, especially like when you're at the airport.
Yeah.
Fucking airport food is usually like some of the worst food
Yeah, it's
ever.
so expensive and tastes like shit also. But like as far as riders go, like usually my rider is like just bottles of water, bottles of sparkling water, veggies, hummus, pita bread, and like maybe a bottle or two, but usually like all the alcohol goes toward my guests that are there. And I usually ask for like 4 different local beers because like I really really love beer. So I like to like taste, when I travel, I like to eat the food and drink the beer and everything, to get a taste of the place. So I always ask for like like a bunch of local beers just to taste what they like. That's how I travel.
That's a really good idea. I might steal that idea because like local, you can learn a lot from like having the local beers. I've, I mean, bad beer. Like, I really don't like bad beer. I'm not really much of a drinker. I only kind of recently started drinking, and one thing I noticed is like bad beer like makes me want to like throw up, especially when it's not ice cold. But like good beer, when it's like cold and it's like in that like restaurant style glass that they like keep in the fridge, so it's like cold. Mm, ugh, it's so good.
No, that's something I really enjoy. Like, like that's all. That's probably why I also get fat all the time when I'm on tours. Like, I just like to eat and drink everything from new places. So yeah, I don't know.
When you're DJing, do you like jump up and down and like dance? Cause like that like might be a good way to like get some carbs out. I thought about just like jumping and shit.
I used to be like really like more stoic. Like I used to look like a fucking statue when I was DJing, like maybe a year ago. And like I don't know, like maybe this year I started getting like more loose and like more dancing. But I'm still not like I'm not like an EDM kid jumping around, jumping on top of the stage and everything. I'm more, and I don't really talk on the mic either. Like maybe 90% of the time I don't even pick up the mic during a show or during the whole set. Like I'm more of the kind of guy that lets the music speaks. I'm just I like all those guys are just yes, they create like a great vibe by like yelling in the mic and getting people
Yeah, but
cranked
like
up and
it's
everything.
not about the music at that point. It's more like they're just a party. They're more like an MC.
Exactly.
I'm kind of like that too, and I respect that because I feel like, I mean, if I was to be on the mic, I would probably just be at like at the very beginning and then end.
Yeah.
Like maybe introduce myself and be like, "Yo guys, I'm Social Kid. What's good? I'm gonna play some mid-tempo piece." and then like DJ, and then at the end be like, thanks guys, you guys are amazing. That's probably the most I would do. Surprisingly, a lot of people I would like expect to be kind of introverted, like when I've seen like live or like on the mic a lot. Um, Maybe it's just more of I'm introverted. I don't know about you, but like it, I like it going to a show and like hearing the DJ like represent themselves with their music. I forget who I saw, but like there was someone that was just like talking about like break your fucking neck like every time like a drop happened. It was like, yo, you guys ready to break your neck? 1, 2, 3. You guys ready to break your neck? 1, 2, 3, jump. Are you guys ready to 1, 2, 3? Yo, Lexi,
Yeah.
I do not remember who it was. What's good, Lexi? That's my homie Lexi. Lexi's in the chat. Just got married around the same time I just got married. How's it going, Lexi? But yeah, anyway, I forget the name of that DJ. I just know a lot of like bass and like big room, more poppy type DJs. I know I'm generalizing a lot, but like you know how it is, those guys that will just like say that. I'm not about that. And I don't really know anyone that's like about that, honestly.
So and, I'm more of the let the music speak, let actually the set speak, the music you've produced speak for itself more than just like trying to cover up by always like trying. Yeah, it's a good thing. Like it's part of the experience, like to like get the crowd going and everything with the mic. But I don't know. I feel more. I'm more old school on that. I'm like you're there to give a show. You're there to make the people dance. So shut the hell up. Just do your thing.
Yeah.
Make them happy, and then say goodbye and go to bed. I don't know, man. But I don't know.
So
I'm really more like chill on that. Like I'm not the kind of guy who like yells all the time.
nice. I respect that. So when you're DJing, are you doing like do you do like very quick mixes? Like what's your DJing style? Like do you do long transitions or what are you kind of into when you DJ?
I usually DJ like pretty fast. Like I usually run about like 50 tracks an hour. Like even with like
Damn.
mashups and everything. And, oh shit, DJ Young is up in there, my man.
What's good,
Yeah.
DJ Young?
And yeah, no, I usually go pretty fast, like, cause I don't like it when I have nothing to do on stage. Like if I'm done, doing a transition and or anything, I'm literally what am I doing with my hands? Like I cannot not do something for like 5 seconds. I'm just gonna go to another CDJ, start queuing some other shit, do some other effects. I'm not okay. All right, I'm bored. Like I'm a little bit like hyperactive, so I just always like I'm always switching it up like real fast. But I'm trying to. Sometimes it's kind of a struggle because you don't want to break the vibe because some people are into it and you don't want to break it. But I don't like DJs. Like, you see those Ultra Music Festival live streams, and you see the guys like basically doing nothing, and he has like 25 tracks playing. And he's like chill, and you're like, okay. Like I'm actually more into like giving a performance. Like maybe it's because I used to be like more of a club DJ and everything, and I was like always like switching it up to keep people interested on the dance floor and shit like that. But no, I just like to not go as fast as possible, but keep it interesting like keep it the most interesting as possible. Like switch it up at least every minute and a half.
I see. Very interesting perspective. When I was watching, I think it was Whipped Cream. I was at a Whipped Cream and 1788L show in San Francisco, and I noticed that like she would play like 20 seconds of a drop and would go through so many tracks. And just for like me personally and my wife, we were like, I mean, maybe we should have known better, but we like wanted to go there and like dance and like get into the groove. And like every time we got into it, like there was a drop and then a breakdown and then a build up. And I wasn't really into it. I'm sure there's like I get like what you're saying because I didn't think about that. Like what are you supposed to do like when the track plays out? Like you're kind of just standing there. So maybe that's like why people do that. I just You know, that's just the job of a DJ. You got to like be tricky. You got to figure out how to do something, but not like mess the vibe up. So I guess like the way you would do that is just play tracks like that are. I recently heard actually this mix by Mr. Christopher. I don't know if you're familiar with Mr. Christopher, the track going in. So like like breakdown and then the build
Yeah,
of another track, and it would like go in.
yeah. You have to blend things, in a good way, and not to keep it like like you don't have to do like harsh separations and everything. So because people are gonna notice that they're gonna be like, ah, yeah, no, no, it doesn't keep the vibe and everything. But also, what I've noticed, especially more and more, and the younger the crowd is, their attention span is so short nowadays that you have a breakdown that doesn't have a lot
Yeah.
of percussive elements, not no kicks and stuff like that. They're literally gonna disconnect in about like 10 to 15 seconds. Like they have
Yep.
no attention span. They just want to go hard all the fucking time. They cannot enjoy like a build up, or when you do those more melodic build up and everything, it's too long for them. Like a lot of people have lost that kind of interest into like the build up of the music, and they just want to go straight to the drop, straight to the banger. And my
Yes.
boy Flag Gang, what's up, Pappy?
What's good, Flag Gang? Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Like, unless you're like a headliner, like a big headliner, and you have like the crowd in like the fucking palm of your hand, those like really ambient um breakdowns, you will lose the crowd. I've seen it. I've like unfortunately have like done it. Like I was like killing it, and then I played something with like a really like long drawn out breakdown, and like everyone just like went to the smoking section, or just like it just the dance floor
Yeah.
like died. I was like, fuck, I just fucked this shit up. So like what I usually do if I want to play one of those breakdowns, I'll like mix in like a tech house track beat like in the background so people can at least dance to. But like recently, like I don't even know if I want to play those tracks just because of like the ADD generation. Like it almost like if a track has that, it's like unplayable. Unless like the other option is like you can make an edit of it, but then you're like spending time making edits. Which is another like commendable thing for DJs to do. Some DJs will like make hella edits, and I can find that like respectable. Um, what do you think about edits? Do you make a lot of edits, or you just try to like do as much stuff like I'm gonna just do this stuff live?
I do a couple edits here and there. I used to do a lot more back then, but like nowadays, like since I'm like more and more, like I've been doing this for years, I'm comfortable doing my shit. Like I'm gonna mix live. Like sometimes there's things you cannot do live that you actually have to do on the computer, and those are edit worthy for me. But like as far as mashups goes and like more simple thing, like I'm just gonna do it live. I'm not gonna bust my ass over it. Like I'm just gonna do it live. And
That's cool.
but yeah, what I don't like is like those DJs that are gonna make like those 7 minute longs mashup, and they're just gonna press play and let everything go. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of
That's
lazy. That's
cheating.
kind of lazy. Yeah.
That is lazy.
Yeah, I know like a
I
lot of
mean,
guys are doing that, and like it's okay. Like you're there to give a show. Like it's part like if because there always two sides. There's the more artistic side of music when you're like, okay, like really want to create the best music, you want to give out the best show, you really want to get into it. But at the end, it's just it's a brand, it's a front. So if the guy is there plays like 10 minutes long mashups with like 12 songs in it, and he pumps out the crowd and he does his thing, and he's got a great brand, he's got a great energy, people are into it, and if people are actually enjoying themselves, then fuck, he did his job like pretty damn good, and there's nothing you can say against that. So there's always the two sides. You're like, I want to be super artistically in like have my artistic integrity, or you're also there to make money and you realize it's a business and you have to commercialize everything. So like I'm trying to set myself into the in between, but it's like if you're super like into like that musical integrity, you cannot bash someone for taking the more commercial route, because at the end of the day, what we're here for is to entertain people. So, if he does it, he does it. If people are happy, that's all that counts.
my wife just said, doesn't Dead Mouse curate his whole show and push the spacebar and let it play? I actually think he has like done that before. Like Deadmau5 is one of those like
That mouse actually
tricky
does. He
motherfuckers.
actually does a shit ton of of stuff on stage, but I also seen it once live when he doesn't feel like doing shit. He literally just press play, sat on the stage, and started drinking beer for like 10 minutes.
He fucking would do
Yeah,
that.
but
You know what he?
at this point, it's part of his brand. It's part of his whole experience. So you cannot shit on it. Yeah, it's lazy, but at some point you just can't shit on it because it's that mouse. Like
Yeah.
he's got kind of like that asshole vibe going. So that's a dead mouse thing to do, yo. So
You know what I think he does though, like when he is like just pushing play, is I think he's doing his visuals.
most
Um,
probably too.
and like I mean, I don't know if he does this for sure, but like I'll catch him sometimes on Twitch, and he's like in like a 3D graphics program or something like that, or in After Effects, and he's just designing his own graphics, and he like does his own visuals like live. At least oh shit, who's the furry friend? We got a furry friend.
Yeah, that's my studio assistant. That's my ghost producer. He makes all my shit.
Ghost
Yeah,
producer.
man.
Oh damn, the lighting looks like he's got like demon eyes.
It
Sick.
was sick.
What's his name?
Yoshi, like the
Yoshi.
Mario little lizard.
Fuck yeah. Do you play video games?
I used to play a lot, but as time has been moving along, like I spend a lot more time working, a lot more time making music, and there's something that I've realized, like when I'm in Ableton, when I'm making music, I get the same satisfaction as working on Ableton as when I'm doing like playing video games. So it's like it's the same thing for me. Like Ableton is like straight up like a video game for me. I get the
It kind of
I get the
is.
same
I'm glad you
satisfaction
said
from
that.
producing music as from like Interpol itself, and with FL, like is with FL, you have your sound. It's a sound you can put the sound anywhere. Like it can get disorganized pretty fast because
Oh
you can
yeah.
pretty much put anything anywhere. Like the automation is the whole bars, and then with Ableton is a lot less sexy, but it's more straight to the point. It's like that track, that sound, automation underneath. That's over. Black next. It's more like
Structured.
yeah, it's more
More like
structured.
structured to like make
Yeah, it
music.
is not sexy, but it's much more structured as a program. And I don't know, that fits better with my workflow. So
I love Ableton, but it's not my main DAW. I use Reason,
no reason.
which is kind of an. I mean, I guess it's been getting more popular now,
Yeah,
but like it used to be kind of like how FL Studio was back when it was like Fruity Loops. It's a very like obscure DAW, but I like it because it mimics real life. All the plugs and chords. I'm kind of really nerdy and techie like that.
mm,
But I started using Ableton recently because I wanted to get into it for like collabs because I know lots of
mhm.
producers in EDM use Ableton, and Ableton's surprisingly easy. Like Reason like took me like years to like get good at, but like Ableton, I feel like I mean it could just be like I'm getting better as a producer in
That
general,
also.
but fuck, Ableton is like it's so simple, and because it doesn't have all the fancy visuals and graphics, it's like yo, we're here to make music, not to like fucking not make music. It's like straight to the point. There's only like one window, whereas like I think FL Studio, or at least I know Logic has like 5 different windows. Reason has like 3 different windows. Ableton, I guess Ableton you have the live view, but most people that make good EDM don't use it.
Not true. Like for me, I just have like the side where I produce, and on the other side I have my mixer, and that's pretty much it. Like on the second screen, like I don't. That's what I like about Ableton. It's just like simple, straight to the point, not fancy. There's like nothing like superficial about it. It's just like, all right, your MIDI, your automations, and like it's just simple for me. Like, but like I have a lot of friends who work on FL, so sometimes like I, when I collab with people that work on FL, I just like sit right next to them. I'm like, all right, do that, try that, like, cause I have no clue how to that, like, cause I have no clue how to actually work it, and like sometimes I get on the computer, I'm like, I'm totally retarded, but you know, that's part of the game. But no, I don't know.
They're pretty sick.
Yeah, I'm using. Wait, let me check real quick what I use usually. I I use the like for not like really precise shit. I'm gonna use like the Ableton EQ, but if I do more precise shit, I'm gonna go into the Fab Filter one.
Fuck yeah, Fat
Yeah,
Filter.
what else do I use that's from there? I use I use the OTT. I use the like the Ableton compressor. I use the limiter from Ableton. Uh, like there's a couple sound effects like the erosion plugin that I use. I sometimes use like the saturator and like little effects here and there. Like I have a lot of third party, but like for like more simple operations like sidechain and everything. Like for the sidechain, I straight up use like I use like the Ableton compressor like for the sidechain. Like I used to do like Kickstart and everything, but you know like I don't know, I got bored of it because there's like not enough control. And with the LFO, like there was an LFO tool that was kind of cool too, but I don't know. I just like doing it with a compressor and a white noise, just adjust like my release and everything, and that's like super fine for me.
Yeah, I feel that. When I'm doing like, unless I'm like doing like straight up like forward of like really like focused like forward to the floor, I'll use those like Kickstart like LFO plugins. But I like I like having like, well, I'll do it old school where I have my direct kick like control the side chains, so like things can be like dialed in. Although sometimes you get in the problem if you want to use a really boomy kick, it doesn't quite work. So like they're like the way around is using like us, like you said, like white
Yeah,
noise.
exactly. No, I only use just like a little like of white noise, and then I adjust my release after that, and usually does the trick pretty well. Like,
Have you has there been any sort of like production breakthroughs that you recently discovered? You're like, holy shit, this is game changing. I'm going to be like so much better of a producer.
uh,
Anything like any like recent breakthroughs you've had?
a big breakthrough I had was I don't know, there's something in Ableton that I never used before, and then I realized that it was always there, and I was fucking stupid for never using it, which is the arpeggiator in the MIDI. You can just like drag an arpeggiator. You write this, you put like the notes you want on it, like just like straight bars of notes, and then you have like literally you can choose what kind of like of arp you want, like you know, converge, diverge, like the up and down, the
Oh,
plus.
sick.
Yeah, it takes like a second to like write a fucking sick arc, and I'm like, did I never use that before? Like, yeah, you know, I used to do like my MIDI note by note and like figure out the pattern and everything. And if you do that, you just put the like, let's say like the four notes you want, the four roots. You just select an option, select the speed. You can add a swing to it. You can do all that shit, and it just like makes you an arc. And I'm like, oh, nice. It's like super quick.
Right on. So, CASTNOWSKI, I'm gonna have to wrap up the stream pretty soon. So, where are you gonna be DJing next?
Next, I'll be in France. I'll be playing in Metz with my friends. I'll be with Jay Dunham, which is a good homie, like over on Confession, Sans Merci, all that stuff. Of course, there's gonna be Dave Summit, our little dude from Quebec City. That he's 19, but he's like making the fucking greatest music ever. Also, my manager Justin will be playing there. Camille, my good friend from Tool Room, will be playing also. So we're gonna have a pretty sick show in Metz in France on October 12th, and then I'll be heading to Amsterdam for the Fraudulent Record and Noir sur Blanc showcase that we're hosting for the Amsterdam Dance event.
And then Fraudulent Records, are the demo submissions open right now?
They're always open. Like I think, yeah, we've booked until the end of 2019, but I think we got some spots. Yeah, because like the thing is, I only do one release a month because I want to really keep the quality there. But
Nice. That's a good idea.
so I think starting from January or February, I'm 2020. I'm having openings. So yeah, the demo submissions are open. So everybody can send demos, send me some new music.
Any type of genre preferences, or are you just doing anything? Like, if people submit mid-tempo, are you accepting that, or is it just house music only?
I usually tend to go more towards like like softer bass house or tech house recently. But if I get like a pretty sick mid tempo track, I'm gonna release a pretty sick mid tempo track because what I'm aiming for is good music, interesting music, original stuff, you know. So yeah, I'm not gonna like put myself into like a bottleneck of like only tech house. But if I see something really that's sick that's out there, I'm gonna take it, you know.
Fuck yeah. Well, you heard it from the man. Fucking accepting mid-tempo. Just make sure it's not that sustained sawtooth mid-tempo that everyone
Yeah.
heard. Um, yo, Kasnowski, I really appreciate you taking the time to come chat with me, shoot the shit, just like have a good time, hang out, drink some Kyrie. I'm about to go to CVS and get some right now. That sounds really good. Gonna fucking destroy my bones.
My man.
Um, yeah, I got a collab with you coming out. Well, it's not coming out until it gets finished. We're working on that. But